Hi folks, welcome to the Sabres Reloaded, the video on the channel. If you're new here, topics within the organization. So let's take a look. Guys, let me see what I marked here because, oh yeah, the topic I chose for this one, guys, is basically the 13 games so far, my thoughts, I guess, on the 13 games, guys, this season. And I'll tell you what, let's take a look at the clip now because there is a clip that goes with this video. Here we go. Okay, so let's take a look, guys, very briefly at this. I had the Sabres, as you know, for first place this year and Boston second. I still think we can be 1-2. It most likely would be the Bruins first because of that great start. But at the same time, guys, this is not the same Boston team as last year. They're not going to roll over the league all year. And the truth is, we are within 8 points of first place. I know they got a game in hand, but we're still within 8 points. We're not 28 points out, we're 8. And if you take a look, Toronto right above us, 3 regulation wins in 13 games. The Sabres have 5. So, and a team in second place has 6. I look at that more than I do the loss column, guys. The main loss column, of course, is the loss column. The overtimes, everything adds up by the end of the year. But guys, we're right there right now. With a winning streak, we're in second place before you know it. So there's no panic for me, guys, in right now when it comes to the 13 games that were 500. There's no panic. It's hard to watch. A 500 season for me is the hardest kind of season to watch because you don't know what you're getting night to night. And that can happen for 82 games. At the end of the year, you got 82 points and you're like, oh my goodness, what a year that was. We could have done this, we should have done that. You're going to have 20 things to complain about, and you'll have a few other things that you liked about the team as well. But the main thing is, it's still a fail. Where we're at right now, guys, we're better than a 500 squad. So, you know, we showed that last year. We sure as hell better show it this year too. You know what I mean? We were 9 games over 500 last year. There's no excuse that this year we can't be 19-20. No excuse. I got them pegged to be 25 over this year in my head. So we've got to get on a roll. We got to get on it soon, and we got to start establishing to the rest of the NHL. Those days are behind us. Okay, that whole losing culture era, and it makes us nervous as Sabres fans. This does for me. It makes me nervous, you know. But then I look at how they played in Toronto. I look at how they played in Carolina. I know we're okay, guys. I know we're okay. It's just going to take some time for this to settle in. And a winning streak happens. At least that's what I'm hoping this year. That's kind of what I see coming. When I see them play that good in 2 games like that where, let's face it, the majority of negative Buffalo fans would have pegged us to go 0-2-0 in those 2 games. And we came out with 3 out of 4 points. So, you know, it's a long season. A lot of good's going to happen. A lot of bad's going to happen. There's going to be injuries. A lot of things are going to take place, and the thing is, how do we cope with it? How do we deal with it? How do we mature from it? How do we react to it? All this is unknown. You can't look at last year and say, well, we're going to do it because we did this last year. It means nothing. Look at our power play last year and look at it this year, guys. Look at our penalty kill last year and look at it this year, guys. Last year is gone. You know, we're in a year where our power play is not very good and our penalty kill is very good. So far. So we can't just hope that the patterns of last year will come back. No, we have to, this is a whole new chemistry. There's no Craig Anderson there to guide our young goalies. These days are gone, you know, and we have to find a way to summon up the courage and put a season together with the nucleus that we have in our dressing room right now. And no, it's not fake. No, it's not lucky. Know that they found their way. And guys, the best proof to know a team found their way is this team didn't get off to a 10-2-1 start. They got off to a 6-6-1 start. And if all of a sudden we're 20 games over 500 at some point in the season, we're going to know that we've matured. Because you know what? Maybe our losing streak, our losing streak of last year is starting 500 this year. Maybe that's where we're at when we're not playing good, is we're a 500 team, if that makes any sense. Maybe we're that good now that when we're not in it, we're not on the top of our game, we're winning half of them still. And I can live with that. In this league, it's a tough league, guys. You have one bad month, no playoffs. It really does come down to that now. I was talking to my buddy earlier about his Oilers. You know, he's a big Oiler fanatic, and he goes, Wayne, he goes, you know what? He goes, they're so bad this year. He goes, this is going to be, he believes, the worst team in Oilers history since they've come into the NHL. He's that convinced of it. I'm not, but he is. He's convinced they're that bad. He's convinced that McDavid's not going to win the scoring title this year. He's convinced of a lot of things that aren't good. He's also convinced of the coach needs to go. You know, the goalie coach needs to go. There's things that need to go on that team over there, I believe, too, you know. Right now, Granato, Adams are doing their job fine, folks. It's fine, 6-6-1. You know, I'm looking at, you know, the things that maybe stand out. Do we deserve to be a 500 team? Yes, yeah, we do. 41 goals for, 41 against, 500. One game under 500 at home. We'll talk about that in a sec. A game over on the road. So Sabres have lost 2 regulation out of 6 on the road. It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't expect them to be like last year. I've made that clear. But if we can still be over 500 on the road, that's awesome. That's awesome. Then we just got to figure the home thing out, guys, and we're good to go. We are. And the boys are still finding their identity, guys. You know, this is another thing. They're still finding out who they are and what they can be. This is not just going to happen the way you and I want it to happen. It might not happen. They might not gel till January. You know, we don't know yet, guys. We just don't. I've seen so many weird things in hockey. Look at the year the Blues won the Cup. That's a perfect example. Things weren't going good for St. Louis. They weren't like, and people are talking about how they were dead last in the league. Yeah, they might have been dead last, but their record didn't look like a last overall team if you go back and check. It wasn't that bad, you know? It was bad, but it wasn't like San Jose bad. It wasn't like that. Or Sabres bad during our tank years. It wasn't like that. So things can turn. This is a team that I believe, guys, is not yet found their potential, and they're still trying to. And that doesn't just happen because you and I want it to. You know, that happens on the ice and off the ice all at the same time. Good habits aren't just on the ice, they're off the ice too. And if the Sabres off the ice haven't convinced you yet that this is a real good team, you just haven't been watching inside videos on that. Like, this team is very united. They're good friends off the ice. This is a really good bunch, guys. This is special, what we got going on. Believe me, not all NHLT. Don't think the Maple Leafs are like our team off the ice and hang out together. No way. No chance. That team over there is a bunch of prima donnas. And most of their fans will agree with that. You know, they got high-end talent, but they're getting so overpaid that the rest of the guys, they can't back them up with, you know, their levels of talent under. And the Sabres have managed to do that so far. You know, we can look at a lot of things that we want changed on our roster. Every team in the league has that, guys. Every team. You know, if the Sabres were, I don't know, 10-2-1, like I said before, if they were 10-2-1, and Olofsson, let's say, had 6 goals, would you want him traded? Probably not, right? Probably not. But I think the fact he's exposed again, that he's having not a very good season again, guys, we can't afford to be paying somebody $5 million that produces 0. We can't do this and expect to make the playoffs. It will not happen. I expected Olofsson this year to maybe be a 30-goal guy again. Well, again, he had 28 last year. I was expecting 30 from him. And then we would have trade value. But right now we have no trade value. And that, again, that's another day, another video. I just want to talk what I feel about the team so far. Special teams are going to decide, I believe, guys, if we're making the playoffs. Special teams, Defensively, we're better. We're more aggressive. For me, guys, that's it. That's good. For those of you that complain about Clifton and Johnson, I suggest you go and look at the amount of hitting our defensemen did last year when Samuelsson was not in the lineup, which he isn't again right now. We literally were a hitless team. And this is why we leave the goalies out to dry certain nights. The blue line has changed for the good, okay? For the good. So like I've got no complaints about those guys. They're still finding their way in this team. What did we think? That we signed these free agents and all of a sudden they're just going to be awesome? Doesn't work out like that, guys. 9 out of 10 times it doesn't work out like that for any team. They got to find their way around, get used to the players they're playing with. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing. But they both led their respective teams in hits, so I'm good with these guys on the team. They're more physical than what we're used to seeing, so we desperately needed that. Good. I'm glad and I hope they're here to stay, really, as long as we can keep them, because I got no problem that Clifton's made some mistakes when we got a guy like Bryson, who might have thrown one good career hit his entire career. You know, we've got to, there's just things we have to change, I believe, on the team of the makeup of, if we're going to become a champion, we just can't be soft and win a Stanley Cup. It won't happen. Won't happen. Ask Toronto. It's never going to happen. And I like the nucleus of this team now. I just think we have to tweak it out. We don't have to go and get draft all this talent. We have it. We have it here with guys like Cousins. Middlestat is showing up now, guys. He's showing up. 5-on-5. He's like our best player, point-wise. I mean, Middlestat is here now. The guy we drafted is finally here. You know, and there was a guy I was ready to let go of, but Olofsson's 29. So, or turning 29, I believe, right? I think, yeah. His prime years are supposed to be now, and nothing's happening. So, you know, we've got to make a decision soon with the team, I believe. And 6-6-1, when there's been so much chaos, is pretty damn good in my opinion. Okay? Leave it there. I'll let you guys debate this. See you tonight, guys.